Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to installment of Scott's Selections here for Monday, January 23rd. Before again today's play of the day, quick recap what happened yesterday. Not much to go through, give it a look at play on tennis, which is actually in the middle of the match right now. So I can't really recap anything, but hopefully that turns out to be a winner. Meanwhile, for Monday, going to transition over to the NBA. Look at a matchup between the Spurs and the Trailblazers taking place at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this matchup, going to go with the underdog here. We're going to take San Antonio +9 at -110 on DraftKings. Time recording of 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering is why we're going to take San Antonio plus the points. Main reason, Portland of all teams, based on recent form, should not be laying anywhere near 9 points. To go through their last couple of games, Portland has lost each of its last 3 games by at least 9. Now they're favored by 9. The Trailblazers have lost 8 of their last 10 games as well. So they've been struggling for about 3 straight weeks. And yesterday, they had arguably the most embarrassing loss of the entire season. Portland led by 25 points at the half against the Lakers at home, and they lost the game by 9. They got outscored by 34 points in the second half at home. 34 points, and they lost. Now they're playing the second leg of a back-to-back, and you could argue that fatigue will be an issue because the starters had to play a bunch of minutes, or you can argue that this team just emotionally won't be ready to play immediately after they punted that game yesterday. But Portland's fallen off a cliff. Looks like Chauncey Billups has kind of lost the team a little bit, and it seems like the chemistry on the team is kind of non-existent. But when you've been that bad, especially at home lately, for the last couple of games, there's no way I think you should be laying 9 no matter who your opponent is. The Spurs, though, have not been good either. That's not really a shock. They're one of the worst teams in the league. However, the Spurs have lost 10 of their last 12, but only 3 of those 10 losses have been by double digits. So the Spurs have actually been kind of competitive lately. They played the Clippers recently in their last game, lost by 5, played the Nets the game prior, and they're winning that one by 8. You can go down the line. They lost by 6 to Memphis on the road, lost by 8 to Memphis on the road, lost to the Knicks on the road by 3, yeah. So the point is the Spurs are not a good team, but recently they've been kind of competitive against the spread, and I think they're being a bit disrespected here based on how bad Portland's been over the last couple of weeks. But to go through the actual numbers for San Antonio this season, they are an awful overall team, but against the spread, actually not terrible. So far this season, San Antonio is 14-32 straight up. However, the Spurs are 23-23 against the spread. So they're basically a 500 team against the number, and Portland is only 24-22 against the spread, with a lot of their covers coming in earlier this season. So both teams against the spread, kind of similar records, almost identical. And based on current form, yes, I know San Antonio stinks, but this team still has young players who are still, I'd say, motivated game in, game out. Team just not that talented. I'm really wondering what the motivation is for Portland right now, because it does seem like on one hand, you want to get back on track. You want to forget what happened yesterday. I don't think you can, because you've lost 8 of 10. Your team's falling off a cliff. So I think San Antonio is good enough to beat up on a rock bottom Trailblazers team, or at least to keep this game close and not get blown out. But to look at the recent numbers here against the spread, San Antonio is 5-1 ATS in its last 6 meetings, which I think actually holds some merit because the Spurs have not been good since Kawhi left, which was a while ago. I know they made the play-in game, but they really weren't a great team last year either. And you're looking at Portland. This team, based on current form, should really not be laying anywhere close to 9. If San Antonio gets blown out, it happens because they're still not a good team. Maybe Lillard goes nuts, or maybe you see Simons or Grant go nuts. But there's also a chance that the Trailblazers bench some players just based on fatigue, since this is a back-to-back. But getting 9 against a team that had the most embarrassing loss of the season yesterday and a team that's in free fall, I think it's a pretty good value play, and I'm going to take it. Split it once again here for Monday, January 23rd is going to be on the Spurs +9 at -110 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.